Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3, Black Ice with yours truly, Bundeswehr Bob and Ben Magnus. Say hello, Ben.
Hello.
We are oobing and flubing,
Yeah, flubing.
which is the new thing all the kids are doing.
Yeah, I don't. I'm an old man, so I don't approve of it. So,
It's prerequisite that we don't approve it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So here, we'll move my HQs back a little
Angry
bit here.
old Ben and Bob. We are generally older than than our audience.
It's, well, maybe. I don't know.
On the whole,
I think I'd have to look at the analytics. Is the breakdown is 18 and 24? Is that
it's
one
yeah, I
of the
think
groups?
so.
Okay, then probably.
Yeah. Except with the exceptions of Strader and Muss and Nems. And I'm sure there's a few lurkers too.
And if people are telling the truth when they talk to Google about how old they are.
Yeah, exactly. I am sure there's nobody that would lie about their age to be able to make a YouTube account. I'm sure.
Right. Okay, well, we can go ahead and set the speed back up to like 4, I think.
Did I ever tell you about the time I had a parent leave me a pissy comment before?
No, but you should totally tell that story because that sounds glorious.
It was somebody left me a comment that was basically like, you should not. They basically said I should not swear in my videos at all because children watch these, and my response to that was, no. Children don't watch these. Teenagers watch these because. It went politely back and forth a couple times before I started getting pissy, and because it came out the person was like, they found their kid, like their 8-year-old watching these, and I was saying like, fuck this and fuck that and shit, and and stuff like that. And I was like, well, no, if your kid had a YouTube account and was watching me, that's because they logged onto the internet, lied about their age to make a YouTube account, and was commenting, and I knew that because they were commenting on the kid's account. And I was like, anything I say, if the kid was actually 13 years or over, like they claim to be, they would hear much worse, at school, talking to their friends and shit like that. So it seems to me like it's a whole lot of your problem being a shitty parent, not watching what your kid's doing.
True story.
Yeah. It's like, it's not my fault if your kid went onto the computer, lied about their age to make a YouTube account, and was watching videos you didn't want them watching. There are much worse things they could be seeing. Where do you think ISIS puts their fucking, recruitment videos? The worst thing, if you went on, logged on to your computer and was looking through your kid's search history, and the worst thing you found was them watching me, I think you're fine.
Such a bad influence, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm terrible, Bob. I'm terrible. Terrible. Just terrible, Bob. All right, so you guys... so I have 2 units. I have 2 mobile units in the entire Japanese Wehrmacht. No!
Japanese Wehrmacht.
Infantry tanks. That's interesting. And you're useless.
Rude.
I just pulled up this division. It's an infantry regiment and a militia regiment, nothing else. So they'll be next to useless in combat. But I do have a nicely stacked Chinese border, considering the Chinese border is only 1, 2, 3, 4 provinces at the moment. How do I... Infantry, it's just more, that's just more stuff to upgrade. I'm like, yay, technology. I don't have the IC for that.
But boy, do you have it.
I'm too neutral. How do I lower my neutrality? Does mobilizing make me angry? Let's see, raise national unity. Support ruling party, counter espionage. Okay, so you're doing this. Where's China? How do I make them more, well, So this is me. My neutrality. It's going down a little. cruiser main armament. I'm liking that. So my next run of heavy cruisers will be nicer. Not this run, but the next. What's your production queue look like?
Icy.
Yeah, mine's infrastructure and IC. But, I mean, it's 1936. That's kind of... You're not really supposed to do much in 36.
I mean, a lot of it is just event spawn stuff that I had come up. So, like, a lot of air bases, and there's some infantry divisions in here. There's the ships that were at the beginning of the game that are slotted in there. Like, the only things I have put in here are the initial IC runs, which I had, I think, like 12 new factories I put in there.
Mm-hmm. I think it's about what I got on there too. Well, mine are stacked up a little bit more because I don't have to worry about bombing like you do.
I didn't mention this actually earlier because you were in the middle of your parental spiel, but I had a notice come up about poor supply, and it was Hitler.
Hitler was in poor supply. He ran out of cocaine. All right, you guys are pretty useless. You're kind of useful. Here, you guys, you're all weirdos, so you guys can work together. This is just an odd assemblage of units, and this odd assemblage of units could be, I don't know, backup for my my naval invasion. How about over there? And then take a train as your headquarters. All right, what else finished? Something finished. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, it was plane related, because I can do some new prototypes. What was that? Medicine? Twin engine airframe research. Exchange IC for resources. I don't need resources, so I'm just gonna say no. Not worth it. I'm just gonna not worth it. We're gonna go with no. I'm good, but thank you. And we're just gonna leave it at that, and that'll be that. Okay. Stop making. I wish I could stop making so many toasters. Everybody's getting new. Everybody in the military is getting new guns right now, I think. Oh, I'm getting new infantry support weapon, new field guns, and new anti-tank weapons. Although my current anti-tank weapon is the grenade.
Spanish Civil War. What to do?
I supported the nationalists.
We shall break the Reds. Yeah, fuck those Reds. And the blues and yellows while we're at it.
Yeah, help me out with the nationalists, Bob. Help me. You don't actually get to fight over there, which is unfortunate. That was one thing I thought was cool, was that you actually could send expeditionary forces, although in practice in Hoi 4, the only time you ever use it is in Spain. It's not really... It's more of a one-time use kind of thing than something that's actually useful.
Yeah.
Alright, support units, or light units, you all hang there because you're going to have to break across the river like a flood. Flood of light Japanese units.
Garrison units can actually hold like a fortified line, right?
Garrisons?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very good at defensive, but basically useless in the offensive role.
Cool. All right, because they're all going on the Siegfried line.
Okay.
You all sit here against France.
Like when I played as the Soviet Union, I had my defense in depth was magnificent. I built the Magnus line, which was an unbroken line of fortifications, from like, I don't even remember. I think it was like from like the Don River to Leningrad, from like Rostov-on-Don north to Leningrad, like following the rivers and you know the forests and the marshlands and stuff like that. And then the entire thing had millions of men and garrison divisions. And then it had infantry in front of that and infantry behind it as well. So the Germans had to break through a regular infantry, then a fortified position, then a backup line of infantry, and they actually managed to do it a couple times. It was impressive how powerful Germany can be early game. Silence. You okay over there, Bob?
Huh?
What you doing? Haven't said anything in a while.
Oh, I'm just setting up all my garrison units on the Siegfried line.
Oh,
here.
you're Siegfrieding?
I'm Siegfrieding really hard. And I also set another corps over here as well, just to scare the Frenchies.
The Frenchies?
Yeah. When should I see?
I cannot wait to see you like properly play in some Hoi through. Cannot wait. I'm so stoked for it.
I feel like you're gonna be disappointed.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. Well, because like the lion's share of your Hoi experience has been Hoi 4, correct?
Yeah.
Which is, super easy, where this is much more tactical. I mean, your strategery is very important in here, but your tactics are very important as well. I love how I got some spies in the Soviet Union, so every once in a while I could just see a couple units like bipping and bopping around.
We're here. We're doing a thing.
And I've got a spy in Sicily.
In Sicily, in Italy.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking not letting Italy join the Axis, by the way.
That's actually not a bad idea. Because a big issue with Italy and basically any AI allies is that they will flood your front line with all of their troops and just tank your supply.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, like, one of the times I played, Italy sent like 1.5, like Italy joins the war, sent like 1.5 million men to like the Ural front. And they just decided, they didn't strategically redeploy them, they just marched them like across, all of the Balkans, which is not really easy terrain to cross, considering they have to start by walking across the fucking Alps. And yeah, and just walked everybody over there, got like 80% of the way there, and then turned around and went back to Italy. So they didn't actually do anything, but they sucked up all the supply from my supply lines for months on end, just marching around. It was awful.
Good job.
I'm mediumly popular now. Woo!
Mediumly popular.
I'm medium popularity. I'm one like standard level of deviation above Trump. What? I'm not wrong.
No, you're not.
So I believe I get to start punching some Chinamen in July of 37. I think it's July. I don't really remember when the bridge thing happens. And I'm pretty sure I have to fight Shanxi and the People's Republic of China as well. Pretty sure. Like how I'm working on like tank stuff right now. I'm probably not going to be building very many tanks. I don't know about you, Bob, but you should definitely be building lots of tanks. Not necessarily right now, but at some point.
I got a few years before I need to worry about a thing.
Yeah, you do. You definitely do. I'm actually going to start maybe putting some at least put some garrisons on the Russian border.
Suddenly, Soviet Union declares war.
Yeah, fighting in Siberia is not as fun as I make it out to be normally.
You are pretty fixated, I will say, because we do have our EU4 multiplayer, which is going to release before that, coming up, and you were talking a lot about wanting to set up shop in like Siberia with your custom nation.
Yeah,
which I didn't understand, but I don't think you're going there anyway. I think you're going to like Africa or something.
Yeah. Oh, it's just the mechanics for step hordes I don't really find terribly enthralling. Like you can, step horde is all about like trading long-term investments for short-term gains, and that's really like counterintuitive to my normal playstyle.
But you gotta live in the now, Ben. Live in the now.
Normally, I'm like, no, I will sit here and I will bide my time and I will invest in my future instead of just like, burn the house to the ground. Because I thought it was going to be really interesting.
The nomad god person, whoever they worship. Tengri? Is that what they are?
Tengri, yeah. I thought it'd be really interesting to, like have this powerful step horde that I could, or run into Europe and, burn your houses to the ground and stuff like that. But then I realized you don't get to raise land until you annex it in a peace deal. Which, I mean, I don't see the point. Like, if I'm going to rack up enough war score, which means sieging down people's land, which is, not a step horde-y kind of thing to do, so that I can get enough war score to annex the land, I don't see the point in then raising it to the ground if I already paid Diplo points for peace deal to annex land. I don't then see the point of burning down the land that I just annexed. I just don't think the mechanics are very my style. Shame, really, because I thought it was going to be fun. But now it looks like I'm going to be punching Aldra some more.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that because he chose Guinea.
He chose Guinea, and I was looking at Ivory Coast I've been eyeballing Ivory Coast real hard, so I'm interested to see what he picks. But I think Nems is next up on the list of pickerdoodles.
Yeah, I really wanted to actually do that whole process, like record live as like an episode 0 is what I wanted to do. But people were really horny about getting their nations done ahead of time.
I could have taken or leave it either way. I would have been okay recording it. Or
well, I'm squaring salt. I'm squaring up salt directly at Mordred.
Oh, I like that we're salty. We're pre-salted.
Well, here's the thing. Bob will get salty over process and procedure. that is what Bob will get salty over, and I was salty over that. It's like, fine, fuck it. I guess you just want to min-max your shit ahead of time. Go ahead. I guess I won't stop you.
Well, I think a lot of people, people love the salt, and a lot of people have been like, yes, more people equals more salt, and the fact that, me and Aldra might be at odds before the game's even started, and you're salty at Mordred. I'm loving it. I love it. It's great. It's wonderful. Yeah, I don't have an objection to like an episode 0 type of situation. Oh, I built some roads. Huzzah! Infrastructure map mode, supply map mode, both very important.
Oh, we're Aryans. We don't need, that.
Ooh, tell me that when you're balls deep in Russia.
That's one thing that was really a pain to learn in Supreme Ruler was supply and how that propagated and stuff, because it's kind of based a little bit on the infrastructure. So there's two different supplies in Supreme Ruler, which is there you have your civil supply. Mm-hmm. Which is, when you dig up like metal out of the ground, where it's going, to facilities and stuff. And that's kind of dependent on your infrastructure within your country, mm-hmm. and how much money you're spending on maintaining and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's all a thing. But then there's also military supply, which like Hoi 3 is all military supply, right? Yeah. There's no civil supply that's there. Resources are just omnipresent.
I'm back down to being Trump. I'm Trump now, not Trump in 6 months from now. I haven't hit very low yet. Sorry, continue.
So yeah, Hoi 3 is all like military supply and stuff like that. Military supply, and figuring out how that worked was really like a big pain in the ass. And the first thing I just tried to play as in Supreme Ruler Ultimate was as Italy in the 1936 start.
Okay.
In Ethiopia. And it's not just a case of, you know, moving your stuff forward. Even in like Hoi 3 was easier than Supreme Ruler as far as like supply and moving forward and attacking and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Supreme Ruler is easy or is hard in comparison to like Hoi 3.
Anti-Comintern Pact. Yeah, sign it up, bitches. New
Japan
laws
accepts.
can be enacted. Full mobile. Let's get that mobilization back up. Yeah, give me the IC. Sorry.
There's just a shit ton of air bases that are getting built in West Prussia here.
You got the events that keep firing, saying, "Hey, you want some more of these?"
Yeah, which I don't know if I'm ever going to use all of them, but you know,
You'll use some of them.
if I just build air bases everywhere, I can have the planes be everywhere.
Yes, I will trade supplies for IC because some ICs are nice.
So yeah, Supreme Ruler is harder than Hoi 3.
To me that's just like that's just like ringing to my ears. That's beautiful.
Oh man, you'll love how all the military stuff is set up. That's for sure. There is no order of battle that like Hoi 3 has, but it's almost more like you're managing things at the. How are these divided up here? So if I go to production division, so these are all brigades, right?
Well, you got you could the smallest unit you can build and field on the map is a regiment, and then normally you have divisions on the like each token is on the map is normally a division made up of several regiments.
Right. Okay. So putting it into Hearts of Iron like 3 parlance, you would be managing like each individual regiment.
Okay.
That would ordinarily make up a division on the map.
Wow.
Yes, and which like for Italy in 1936 in Ethiopia, that wasn't like a huge deal, but as soon as I got into like let's fight World War II, it's like holy fuck. Which and there's like AI management that is available for you, like in varying degrees, whether that's like no management and some management and like full management. You can pick that kind of stuff because there is more to the game than just simply moving military units around. Like there's like Hearts of Iron 3 is very much a let's play war is what Hearts of Iron 3 is.
Yeah.
Whereas Supreme Ruler is much more let's play geopolitics.
And I know Bob gets a bit woody for geopolitics. I know that.
I love me some geopolitics.
Oh yes.
I actually just watched a new. Well, it's not really new. It's like last November, where Peter Zion was giving another talk, and he is projecting. Yeah, he's projecting war in the Baltic and in East Asia. You heard me right.
Baltic, like
Baltic,
like Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania.
Yes.
For control over Baltic ports from Russia.
It has to do with oil import.
Well, the only port Russia has is St. Petersburg, over the only major one in that region. So yeah, opening up
Germany and Russia being the biggest belligerents in that particular conflict.
Well, clearly.
So he says so.
And East Asia, China,
Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Vietnam, I think was in that tussle.
Well, everybody over there has been saber rattling for 50 years.
Right, but it's going to become a bigger deal with...
sabering?
Well, I mean, you're familiar with Peter Zion and what he says. Yeah. Because he's an analyst, for those that don't know. He's a geopolitical analyst, which what he does, he's not like a news commentator like you would find with like Rachel Maddow or like Bill O'Reilly. Like it's that he's not that kind of guy. What he does, he sits down with a lot of data and crunch stuff, and like big business firms pay him to come sit in on their meetings and go, okay, well, here's what's going to be happening in the world, and here's how it's going to affect your business. Like he crunches data. That's what he does. He's a geopolitical analyst, which is the kind of person that I respect more than any editorial guy ever, which is really kind of a big reason why I am so like anal about people posting shit in my Discord that want to like talk politics and shit. It's like, well, where's your data? Like, what do you have backing this up? It comes from a very, very long controlled behavior of where's your data. And that's why I respect this guy a lot, because he just gives a lot of data, and he's projecting very much that the United States is going to be energy independent in a couple of years, which look at the data, looks like that's going to happen. It is great for us, for those of us.
I mean, it's throwing OPEC into a fucking tizzy.
Yes, it is.
But I mean, that's what it's good for us, and I'm an us, so.
Yeah. So what's this? German-Romanian oil agreement. Yes, we'll ask them if they want to give us oil. They accepted.
By ask, I mean, you're going to give it to us, right? Right?
Give us
right, Mordred, right?
So, what he was talking about, which a lot of this just has to do with the fact that once we pull out, because what's going on right now is that the United States has a aircraft carrier battle group hanging out in the Persian Gulf, pretty much just to keep the thing open, because Iran and Saudi Arabia are arrayed against each other.
Yeah, straight to Hormuz and whatnot.
And are constantly kind of in a struggle that's kind of more behind the scenes and trying to stir up rebellion and insurrection as opposed to straight up shooting each other for dominance of the region and oil exports. Now, this is a big deal because right now we are the ones who are guaranteeing trade. I actually have it up on my screen here, like using the map as a tool. So we guarantee that oil comes out of this region. Once we pull out, because we'll be energy independent, it's kind of up to everyone else to get their oil imports from there and secure it. And as Peter Zion puts it, it's there's a possibility that Japan and China and Taiwan might send ships out there to get involved in a quote-unquote Middle Eastern knife fight to make sure they get their oil.
Yeah, I just went over there on my map. If everybody's wondering what Bob's talking about, it's right here. All the oil comes through that one spot right there. So it doesn't take a lot of force to close off this area right here, considering how geographically isolated it is.
Yeah, the U.S. is the one that's keeping it open.
All goes through there. Is that little the island right off the coast? That's actually called Hormuz, right? That's why it's the Strait of Hormuz.
The Karg Island, I think.
Is it actually? Oh, I thought it was actually just called Hormuz. But anyway,
in Iran, there's some place called Karg Island, which is like where all like Iran's oil exports like go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm actually building stuff. It feels good.
I spat out a division.
I'm finally up to it. Well, like getting properly, like starting to mobilize and actually getting some of those upgrades out really helps. I mean, we're still spending 64 on toasters, but
all those delicious toasters.
Mm-hmm.
Got to make the people happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I urge anybody who wants to know more about what's going on in the world in a little more of a no bullshit assessment kind of way, as opposed to
an all bullshit.
I mean, a lot of American news. I suppose I'm kind of really speaking more to the American audience because I don't know what news is like in Germany or France or the UK. Really, like I don't know what their news outlets are like. Here in the US, it's very much in the moment. This is the 24-hour news cycle. Here's what we're talking about, and we like this, we don't like this. But there's not a whole lot of like forward thinking conversation that goes on in it, and not a whole lot of analysis, and there's a lot of opinion that goes on in the discussion there, and I don't really like it all that much. That's why I don't really listen to the quote unquote news so much here. But anybody who's looking for a little more of that just an analysis, data point driven conversation, highly recommend you just Google geopolitics and look for Peter Zion.
Zion is spelled like Zeihan or something like that.
Yeah, Zeihan.
He's a paid analyst and whatnot, but he also manages to deliver his speeches in a pretty entertaining manner, which makes it easier to watch. But then again, if you're bored by geopolitics, no matter what he says, you're going to be bored. So fuck you.
Yeah. Well, it's I find that most of the people that are interested in games like this or like Supreme Ruler or EU4 would probably find a lot of that kind of stuff interesting.
Feed the poor.
And he's not the only guy either. There's a lot of people out there take care of that do this kind of stuff. Like there's Pete Zolst. He's a really good one too.
Apparently, anybody named Pete.
Don't need reinforcements and upgrades.
Oh, production is going up. Ha ha ha. Oh, it feels good. I'm building things, Bob.
Contain yourself, Ben.
I'm building things. Feels good, man.
So what do you do to put together like a city siege unit? What does that look like?
Generally what I do is, you said you have no battle commanders, right?
Right.
All right, so scratch that idea. Normally I put a battle commander in charge of a corps because he gives bonuses to attack and stuff like that, but you don't have any, so we're going to scratch that right off the beginning. So you'll want to take a corps level unit, take a corps, and put in your best urban combat general. You can actually search. There's like a little search function where you can click like urban combat and look for the people who are already good at fighting in cities. Put him in charge of that. Then you go to the divisions in that unit. Put your next 5 best urban combat specialists in charge of those divisions. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put siege artillery, so those fucking siege guns that you get the options to build. Put one of those in every single division. You're going to want to then put in heavy artillery on top of that. You want to put, I think, have to look it up, but you can actually see in the division template, but you're going to want to give the transport unit that's best in urban terrain, which I think is just regular trucks, on that, an HQ unit, and heavy tanks, because those are actually, the armor bonus kind of trumps the debuff for urban combat. And then I think mixed support goes into it as well, and that's like kind of like a bog standard.
I see. Well, we'll have to get more of that going in the next episode then and discuss more of that, because I want to know more about this and stuff.
Yes.
So thank you for watching, everybody. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Go check out our Patreon pages too if you'd like to support with more than just a view. You get some fun rewards too. I know I get some fun rewards. I know Ben has just rewards. May not be fun rewards, but they're rewards nonetheless.
You get cool titles and fancy colors in the Discord, and I name stuff after you.
I suppose those could be fun. Those could be designated as fun too, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you guys later.
Goodbye.